Hello, chat. Welcome to the basement on this midweek Wednesday hump day stream. I think I got a pretty good stream lined up for you. A lot of footage from the Spider-Man set, some new rumors, some new speculation. Not just about Spider-Man. Like not too long ago, some Doomsday rumors started to drop as well. And of course, we have to talk about the Fantastic Four a little bit more. But there is one teensy little bit of good news amongst the crap known as the box. So, hope you're ready to have a good old time here in the basement this evening. So, fill your cup like smoke because it's time to get nerdy. Well, hello, chat. How are we doing tonight? Welcome to the Wednesday night stream here in the basement. Spicy Dan and Brennan, what's going on, y'all? How you guys doing? How's everyone else? How are you on the replay? If you were kind enough to click on this your video, hope everyone's doing well. Hope you had a good beginning to your week. In case you weren't aware, we did watch Eyes of Wakanda together last night. So if you haven't watched it yet, watch it with us. Click on that video. And hit a like on everything you look at here. Pretty please and thanks. And if you have not done so yet, also please hit the subscribe and the bell. Dinky, 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 dinky. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Quick, easy. Almost. No. I'm doing I as well, Mr. Alt. I am doing I as well. So anything, well, for those of you who weren't at the watch party, anything interesting happened this week, and for those of you who were, anything interesting happened today? You watched it, wasn't able to watch the stream. What'd you think? What did you think of Eyes of Wakanda? I thought it was a pretty solid show, actually. Like, it wasn't wowzers. Like, it's no X-Men 97, but it was pretty solid. I was pleased. I'll say that. You know, wasn't blown away. Wasn't, overall it wasn't like a holy shit, that was good. But it was solid. It was good. It's a solid 8. Better than a 7. I was thinking 7. I'm like, you know what? I liked it more than that. So I gave her an 8. Yeah. It worked that time. Holy shit. Cool. Your car asked for a quart of what 3 times today? Oh no. Turning it in the morning to see what's up. Bro, that blows. Well, here's the question. Was it leaving a puddle? Like, I know very, very little about engines, but I know if you're losing oil and you're not seeing it on the ground, that's generally not a good thing. Like interior problems, bad, 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 bad. Didn't have high expectations, pretty good. Thought the best episode was probably the one in Greece. That one was a pretty damn good episode. What up, Brooke? Yeah, the Grease one was a pretty damn episode. No puddle. Ooh. No smoke. Okay, well, no puddle suggests interior, but no smoke kind of conflicts with the interior thing. So that is, and this is where my limited knowledge runs into problems. Like, I got nothing else. That's all I got. Big Globetrot in Eyes of Wakanda. Yeah. Yeah. The first episode takes place BC, or well, I think it was something or other BC, or like very early AD. No, it's actually about war dogs, so it's mostly outside of Wakanda. There's, some of it in Wakanda. Like the episode with Iron Fist, a fair chunk of that actually was in Wakanda, but for the most part, it's outside of Wakanda because of the war dogs. That's what they do. And the first one was kind of also in the area of Greece. Film with friends, awesome. Have they subscribed? Yeah, the first one I believe was set in Greece. The second one was technically in Troy, which is in Turkey, but obviously there's the Grecians fighting the Troys. Jesus Christ, the Trojans. So, yeah. So technically the first episode was the one in Greece. Second one, Troy, which is in modern day Turkey, or was in modern day Turkey. Third one was basically split between China and Wakanda. Actually, I take that back. A third in China, 2/3 in Wakanda. And then the last one was in Europe, and then Wakanda. That one was pretty split. It jumped back and forth. The one with Achilles, okay, yeah. That one was technically in Troy. But, obviously, Greek army. Yeah, that Achilles one was a really good episode. Might have been the best episode for me, although I really liked the last episode. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, honestly, I think the third episode I would rank last on a power. I didn't dislike any of them. I liked all of them. But if we're going to rank them by strength, I would go 2, 4, 1, 3. Yeah. But 4 and 1 you can almost interchange, honestly. I mean, 4 is pretty good, but 1 is also pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty close. It's like 2 and 2A, episode 4 and episode 1. And then episode 3 for me was the weakest. Yeah. Yeah. Overall, pretty solid show. I liked it. Yeah, the Horde was cool. Don't know if that's a nihilist. That's just speculation. Because remember, we looked at the images and they're like, a little similar. But, I mean, also, this is the MCU. They don't, it's never a one-to-one adaptation with them. They could change what the Annihilation Wave looks like. Make it even more insectile. Excuse me. Yeah. But yeah, that is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Yeah, there's slight differences because the Annihilation Wave, at least for the most part, is in the negative zone. And they said in the show they came from like the edge of the galaxy. Although For all that could just be a perspective thing. It might have just seemed to them that they came from the edge of the galaxy when they actually did come from the negative zone. So there's wiggle room there. It could go either way. The Horde could be its own thing, or it could be the Annihilation Wave, or a mixture of the two. Not necessarily its own thing, but like the MCU version of the Annihilation Wave. Its look, that kind of thing. Could be either one. But whichever one it is, I thought it was pretty cool. Thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, fucking Alien Earth starts next week, chat. Actually, guys, give me 1 second. Okay, right back. Hello. This is what he wants. I'm not getting up and walking around. That's not happening. If you want cuddles. So, I guess for a little while it's going to be me and my cat's big old booty. Up in the camera. I got to indulge him sometimes. You're a good boy. I'm a good boy. All right. Let's go ahead and get into some newses. Couple bits of newses. Where is one? I wish this thing would let me sort my books. Okay. All right. We will begin with this. All right. So let us begin. Oh, hey, Seer. How are you doing? Welcome in. Back? In. Back. Yes, you have been here before. Thank you for coming back. I really appreciate it. I think Spider-Man would be in 4K, possibly 8K. So does this mean cinemas will sacrifice other movies in order to play it? No, I don't. The only thing, I don't even think they're doing anything filming it in any specific way, even for IMAX, that I can recall seeing. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do anything like that would prevent it being as widespread as possible. Especially with the way things have been going for the MCU lately, they need that thing everywhere they can get it, so everyone can put their eyeball. So, no, I don't think they're going to do something like that if it means fewer theaters. even if they would be premium screens and generate more per ticket. There's an old adage: a penny from the many is greater than a pound from the few, using British monetary terms, pound. But yeah, they will make a lot more money selling regular ass tickets in a shit ton of places than they will on premium screens in not a lot of places. Yeah. And that's how I see it. All right, damn it. Do I have a burp or do I not? All right, that's better. Yeah. You know when a burp gets stuck for a minute. It sucks. Man. What do I think about Thunderbolts, aka the new Avengers with a Z? Fucking Red Guardian. That was actually kind of funny. I think the Thunderbolts is a really good movie. I like the team as a team. I think that Doomsday is gonna. Ow, dude. Okay, that's it. Time's up. All right. Yeah. I think the movie's really, really good. Like one of the best ones Marvel's put out in a long time. Um, I like the team. I did not mind Taskmaster getting murked. They never did that character well from jump, so I don't miss her. Yeah, I like the team. They're cool. The movie was pretty good. As for when it comes to public perception of the team, obviously it ain't great. Um, um, Based on the fact that movie didn't even make $400 million. So, that part is kind of like, yeah, that sucks, considering that team is going to be a major part of the next Avengers movie, Doomsday. Um, and it has kind of a lack of marquee characters. You know what I mean? So, personally, I'm down with the team. I just think they're going to have to do some really big shit to kind of make up for the lack of zip the characters themselves have for the general public. What do I think about Yelena's character development over the years? I think a lot of it happened in Thunderbolts. That's what I think. But yeah, no, it's a good character arc. And it sets her up for a prominent role in Doomsday as well, which is cool because I like Yelena Belova character. And, to encompass the full part of me, in which there's also Gunnar, Florence Pugh is fucking hot. So, yeah, so it's a win-win. It's a win-win. Okay. Thank you for your questions. Appreciate it. Now, to the news. Item 1. Daniel Richtman, a.k.a. Daniel Rippick, RPK, dropped a little bit of Star Wars news, and it reads as follows. Lucasfilm's plans for the Star Wars New Jedi Order era have reportedly been revealed. He's slightly non-committal right there. It will be similar to the Mandoverse. It will begin with Daisy Ridley's upcoming film that should not be getting made. I added that. It will gradually build toward a major event that brings together characters introduced in past films. Well, to be as polite as possible, I will give KK credit for being, again, to put it very, very extremely politely, highly euphemistic, tenacious, and driven in her quest to legitimize Rey. Now, if I want to be more accurate and honest, she's nuts. She's dumb for trying to do this. It is a bad, 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 bad idea. Yeah, it's not good. And of course, within this is the Sean Levy movie, Jedi Starfighter, and we'll be talking about that more in a little bit. That movie I have hopes for. I think it's intriguing due to the cast. I like Sean Levy, so but I could definitely not use the word excited by any stretch of the imagination. I would say I am curious, intrigued, hopeful that at least maybe they can do this one right because it's Sean Levy. Yeah. So that's in there, but also there is still the potential for that Simon Kinberg trilogy floating around out there. That's all about Rey. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to dwell on this shit too much. Just, dumb. Horrible, horrible decision. Will do nothing to revitalize the brand in any way, shape, or form. At best, like literally the best Lucasfilm can hope for if they stick to this plan is apathy. Like the best they can hope for is for it not to get worse with this plan. This is not a plan that will improve things. Like not improve things. Unless, what up, Lou? Unless by some miracle, the next Rey movie to come out, the Charbine Obeyed Chinoy movie, and she is so not even qualified. But if by some miracle that movie slaps and Starfighter slaps and the Kinberg trilogy slaps, that is literally the only way this is a good idea. I'm pointing at my mouth. It's right there. But yeah, barring that miracle, the best they can hope for is that people just don't give a crap. Like they don't give a crap to the point they don't even want to expend energy on shitting. Like that's the best they can hope for. Is people to literally not care enough to react at all. Again, barring that miraculous slapper level movie. Yeah. Unsmart. Now, however, later on that day, noted Hollywood insider, been in the game for a long time, one of the most accurate out there. Right up there with Alex Perez from Cosmic Circus, who evidently is taking a break from social media, like totally disappeared his Twitter account. Like people were, by the way, side story real quick. And I didn't realize this was going on until I saw like other people I follow tweeting about it. But yeah, evidently he like completely closed his fucking Twitter account. And I don't know if maybe he told people on his Discord this was happening, but like a lot of people in our bubble went, "What the fuck? Did he get sniped? Did Feige get him?" And then Lizzie tweeted out like, "No, he didn't get sniped. He's just taking a break from social media." Okay, cool. I mean, I probably should. But anyway, So yeah, Alex, top of the heap. And this one, while an abrasive, uh, self-important prick, also really fucking good at his job. Jeff Snyder, I mean, he quoted Star Wars Holocron, but it's the same thing. He retweeted that or quote tweeted it and just said one word: nope. Now, don't get me wrong, RPK is pretty good, but Snyder is better. Now, this does not necessarily mean that Snyder's right and Daniel's wrong, but given their relative standings and accuracy levels, the odds are in Snyder's favor. And if the odds are in Snyder's favor, that means the odds are also in our favor. You know what I'm saying? If Snyder's right, that means this is not the plan. Means they're not being that fucking stupid. And it means we won't have to put up with hopefully won't have to put up with a crap ton of race shit. Executive Judge, what up? What'd you miss? Not much. Believe it or not, talking some Star Wars. What did I think about the new Fantastic movie? I thought it was really fucking good, man. I thought it was really good. I mean, if they could have utilized Galactus a little more, but that's that's not even that big a deal because what they did give us was pretty fucking dope. So, no, I thought it was a really, really good movie. Like quality wise, Marvel just dropped 2 bangers in a row. Problem is a lot of people still aren't willing to give them a chance. B, don't know who the fuck the Thunderbolts are, and while the Fantastic Four is huge in our bubble, first family of Marvel and all that, the normies don't fucking know that. The normies know now they know the Avengers thanks to MCU. The normies know the X-Men, at least through Wolverine. Wolverine's in pop culture. Okay, that's half the reason Wolverine and Deadpool did 1.3 billion, despite the shithole that Marvel was in and continues to be in. Name recognition. So, yeah. No, Fantastic Four, really, really good. But as is being reflected in the box office, normies do not give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. So, but yeah, hopefully Snyder's right on this one. And RPK is wrong. That's not guaranteed. And here is the other bit of cast of news for Star Wars. And this is actually, at least in my mind, a positive. Matt Smith has been cast as the villain in Star Wars Starfighter, also starring Ryan Gosling and Mia Goth. I'm sure you recognize this goofy mug. Matt Smith, really famous for his tenure as Doctor Who. Most recently, well known as what's his first name? Anyway, one of the Targaryens in a House of the Dragon. What is his fucking first name? Then various other roles, but primarily Doctor Who and his Hot D role is what he's, at least recently, is what he's known for. Now, he was in Morbius as well. Now that I think about it, and he ended up being the bad guy in that too. So I'm down. Like, I am down. I like this casting. I don't care who he's playing. I like Matt Smith as an actor. I think he's pretty. I think he's pretty good. Obviously, there's only so much a dude that's that good of an actor can do in a movie like Morbius. He did what he could with it. Can't blame him for that shit. Really good. I haven't watched Doctor Who, but I know people who do, and they hold his run as the Doctor in very high regard. And of course, Hot D. So I like it. Now, when you pair him up with the other two people that are confirmed, Ryan Gosling and Mia Goth. Now, evidently, Mia Goth, it's going to be Mia Goth and Matt Smith as the villains. So it's going to be these two versus Gosling and his nephew, I think it is. Yeah. So, but that's pretty cool. Like, I don't know Mia Goth's acting that well. I mean, I know she's prominent, but can't really think of anything I've seen her in. However, Gosling, Goth, Matt Smith. Star Wars. Star Wars is obviously trying to generate draw via names, big name actors. Which, at least for me, in my mind, is kind of an admission that they haven't been killing it with story. It's a tacit admission. It's an admission without it actually admitting it, but going like for all these big names pretty much is an admission that like we've been fucking up and we can't draw on just us being us anymore. Like this is an acknowledgement of the brand damage. Whether they'll never admit that. But that's what this is. This is an acknowledgement of the brand damage because they are now trying to draw with actors rather than it being Star Wars. Yeah. But it's pretty cool, at least in my mind. I likes it. I like it. Oh yeah, this is the oh right, the actual article. Let's see what Deadline had to say about it, just real quick. Exclusive. After fighting battles for House Targaryen, Matt Smith is ready to take his next fight to a galaxy far, far away. Sources told Deadline that the House of the Dragon Star is on board to join Ryan Gosling in Lucasfilm's Star Wars Starfighter. Mia Goth is also on board, with Sean Levy directing the pick. Jonathan Tropper penned the script. Now, if I recall correctly, Jonathan Tropper is Sean Levy's writing partner. Lucasfilm and reps for Smith could not be reached for comment. Yeah, well. The film will shoot this fall and is set to bound May 28, 2027. While exact details are vague on who Smith is playing, sources say it will be one of the villain roles. And I saw a little something. I don't think I bookmarked it, but I saw a little something saying he's going to be like a general, maybe. Casting has been gearing up on the project over the past couple weeks, with Levy meeting for a number of actors for this key role. Sources say execs made the decision to go with Smith to play the next great villain in the Star Wars universe. Okay, so yeah, not a whole lot to it, but yep. Now I'm wondering if they're like overstating things. The next great villain in the Star Wars universe. At least I hope they're overstating things that they're not trying to actually do something like that. What up, Griff? If it's Star Wars, I will watch it. Call me naive. Yeah, I know. I mean, look. Look. While Star Wars has broken a fair chunk of the fandom and not a small number of Nerdvengers, and I say not a small number of Nerdvengers because 98% of this community is from Josh's. So, so yeah, well, Star Wars broke a fair chunk of us. I am not broken. I'm upset. I'm not happy, but I am not broken. So, I'll be in the theater for Mando and Grogu. I'll be in the theater for Starfighter. I'll be in the theater for the Rey movie. since Star Wars, like my cynical ass, still at this point has yet to give up that maybe the next project will be good. You know, I will not relinquish that with what they have coming up. So for the most part, very, very, very infinitesimally small chance that it'll be really good. I'm gonna trot my ass into the theater on that infinitesimally small chance. Kendall, what up? What's happening? So, but yeah, you're not alone, Brennan. I will be in the theater for them. I will watch the fucking Disney Plus shows. You get why people are upset. You guess you're too normy. I mean, in this situation, that's probably not a bad thing. Like if you if you liked it more, you'd probably be more upset. So in this case, enjoy your norminess. Like real talk. Excuse me. Executive Judge Ray. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, Ray puts me in read mode for like actual reasons, unlike some people out there who just want to go after low hanging fruit and low IQ arguments and that kind of thing. So, but yeah, so Matt Smith entering the Star Wars universe. Pretty cool, in my opinion. Oh yeah, this is just a nice little bit here. So, Hollywood Reporter did an interview with Chris Hemsworth the other day, and they talked about a few things. Talked about his show on National Geographic called Limitless with Chris Hemsworth. Um, I guess he's only on one season because they're renaming it to Limitless Live Better now. Talk about that. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then we did talk about Thor in this article, which is the part that we care about. Alien Earth on the big screen was fantastic. What the actual fuck are you even talking about, bro? You got to see Alien Earth in a fucking theater? Oh, you know what? I do kind of remember you mentioning you got to do that. Okay, so was fantastic. Now, do you mean just visuals wise, or like was it a really good show? And do you think you'll like it as much on TV? You don't watch that? I have not watched K-pop Demon Killer, but I hear it's becoming a real thing. Yup. What? Are you answering Brennan or me? Be specific, Griff. All right. While I wait for you, C-Dub. C-Dub, what's going on? Okay, so while you're letting me know answers to my Alien Earth questions, we'll continue to talk about Hemsworth. So yeah, to recap real quick, did an interview with great first episode. Really has the feel of OG Alien. Oh my god. The nerd part of me just got horny. That is so awesome. Was it just the first episode you got to watch? What's up, Darth Lance? How are you this fine evening? Thanks for popping in. Yeah, Alien Earth comes out next week. If you played Alien Isolation, you'll for sure love it. I have not played the game, but I have heard it is a very popular, very well-loved game, so you might be shunned, never seen aliens. We will not shun you for that. We may mock you for it. A little, but you will not be shunned. But I do highly recommend you watch them, all of them, and form your own opinion. I'll put it this way. As you would be going in blind, you would probably be able to. There's a couple movies that are pretty fucking controversial in that series, especially when it comes to alien lore purists. But as you are not one, you'll probably just be able to watch them and enjoy them as cinematic features in a cool universe with a dope ass creature. Yeah, you'll probably be able to enjoy them just on that. What I miss on Josh's member stream? Oh, he deleted it. You know, I'm kind of not surprised. Okay. All right. We will digress from this. We'll come back to Thor. Okay. We'll deal with this. We're not dickhead gatekeepers. It's possible to keep up with all pop culture. That is 100% fact. Yes. I'm not a. All right. If I'm being 100% honest, I can get a little gatekeepy about Star Wars. But only in terms of like defending the superiority of George Lucas's version. You know? And, you know, defending my opinion that you're insane to like 80% of what Disney has put out. You know what I'm saying? You just got off work. You want to watch a replay? Okay, well, I didn't get to see the beginning of it. But he did go on a pretty long diatribe. Like, not like massive, like, not, you know, rant per se. Like, he wasn't like aggressive or overly animated or anything like that. But he did go on a pretty long diatribe about like part of him really kind of wanting the comic book genre to like disappear for a while, just because he's tired of the cycle, and you know, stuff like that. He went into a lot more detail that I can't remember, but that was like the basic theme. The basic theme is, you know, he wants Marvel to take a break so he can take a break from Marvel content because the cycle is just fucking old. Actually, he did go a bit deeper. Like he's almost tired of the comic book genre in general. Um, because he thinks it's gotten like stale, like they don't innovate enough anymore, that kind of thing. Like he even was talking about like not being super hyped for Brand New Day because we're just watching Peter Parker do Peter Parker shit again. That's one of the points he made. Yeah, I'm not surprised he deleted it, you know, one bit. I wonder if he's going to stream tomorrow. Because you know someone going to ask him about that shit. And then he will either answer, but more than likely he will deflect, I would imagine. My opinion, my guess. If someone does bring it up in tomorrow's stream, uh, I predict a deflective answer. Yeah, well, no, he was doing a lot of video shit today, he said. Um, Mostly related to Warhammer, I think. Yeah, we're up. We're members. We've seen Josh D with. Yeah, oh yeah, I know. Yeah, 61 months for you. That's fucking nuts, bro. That's 5 years and 1 month. Good goddamn. I'm gonna hit 3 years next month. I think. Is it September? Or is it October? Now that's just as a member. But yeah, 5 years and a month as a member. He dropped 3 or 4. Yeah. Oh yeah, that was something else he did too. Yeah, I remember. He's like, I know I didn't stream, but I made you some clips. Yeah. You'll see those leaked pics they dropped from New Avengers, like from Thunderbolts. No, I have not seen that. Snorehammer. Yeah. But yeah, so he probably feels like he vented too much and said too much, so he's like, yeah, delete. And he probably has some concerns that, clips would get out. I don't know. Can you clip a member live stream? I don't know. 0 months member? Nothing wrong with that. If you're a regular in there, you're a Nerd Avenger, at least as far as I'm concerned. 2 Dark Hammer? I mean, yeah, if you're not into like that grim dark aesthetic, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you prefer less, I don't want to say less serious fare, because you don't have to be as dark as fucking Warhammer. You can still be pretty serious. What's a good way to put it? No, but just, yeah. Characters in costume and a bunch of Spider-Man. Oh. Now, the only Spider-Man pictures I've seen are from the filming they're doing in Scotland. Glasgow, Scotland. Where they're filming right now. Yep. But yeah, that's what happened, and that's probably why he deleted it. Probably feels like he said too much. Yeah. Okay. Back to Hemsworth. Speaking of this is from the Hollywood Reporter. Speaking of Thor, Hemsworth released a YouTube video titled "Thank You: The Legacy of Thor" a couple months after his late March casting announcement in the Russo brothers' Avengers Doomsday. Naturally, the 2-minute video caused an online frenzy, as fans quickly speculated that Hemsworth was preemptively saying goodbye ahead of his final go-round as Thor. Plot theories soon followed, and many wondered if Thor would have a fateful encounter with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, a la the one that his brother Loki had with Thanos in Avengers Infinity War. Hemsworth is now clarifying that the above reading was not at all what he and his social media team intended. I had a few people ask me about it, and someone on my team said, we've given the wrong impression here. We didn't do any damage control. There was no damage control necessary, but a lot was read into a little. I was already off starting another chapter of this character, and this journey has been the biggest part of my career. That's fucking fact. So the video was a moment of gratitude, and it wasn't anything else, but it definitely got misconstrued and perceived in a different way. Okay, now they're getting into extraction. Here, anything else on the Thor thing? Okay, here it is. All right, so a little bit more on that, just real quick. It was certainly not the intent, talking about saying goodbye. To be honest, my social media team assembled some footage and we're like, oh, this could be cool. We'll put some stuff up and thank fans. I was like, yeah, cool. It's been great. So we pinned it together and off I went to do something else. Okay, and then we get to the part. Okay, so that beginning part was the only thing we added on. So, but then after people asked me about it, somebody, getting the wrong impression, didn't do any damage control, no damage control, the lot little. Okay, so Anywho, so that's what Hemsworth had to say. Is like, yeah, we just wanted to do this thing, and we didn't mean it was going to be goodbye. We didn't mean it. Yep. So Hemsworth is 100% claiming that was not a goodbye, and gonna be Thor for a minute. Punisher is officially wrapped filming, guys. Coming out in 2026, which, unlike it being a movie, is not a stretch because it's Punisher, super street level. Very little very little CGI in post necessary. Scotland is sucking in rugby. That's a bummer for them. But yeah, Punisher special presentation is wrapped. Where is that? There's a little. Oh yeah. There's some footage of him filming something. No. Here. Yeah. Obviously, that is going to be CGI'd into a weapon, that yellow foam thing. But yeah. I mean, Frank just fucking Franken. Yeah, we're going to watch this one or two more times. Wham! I love this. He's the guy coming in for the overhand swing, ducks, and drops a body shot. Ooh, right below the liver. That'll put that a good liver shot. You're done. Guess Bernthal's doing the brand new day set now. Yeah, I would imagine so. But yeah, like I like whoever choreographed this because it's like, yeah, it immediately anticipates the overhead swing, drops down, drops a shot to the body, again near the liver, which takes him out some. Immediately switches to his other opponent, delivers a kick. He's got a knife, blocks the backswing, tag, and stay the fuck down. Fucking beautiful. Fucking beautiful. I cannot wait for that. Like, we're just gonna have to keep in mind because now we do not have an official release date for that yet. Some people are saying that it's gonna come out before Spider-Man. I mean, it could. It's already wrapped. A project like that probably only needs like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 months at most in post. So that means it'll be done. That should be done with post like February, March. And Spider-Man doesn't come out till July 31st of next year, so that could come out before Spider-Man. So if that is the case, we need to keep in mind that the amazing, level of violence that we are going to get in the Punisher special is gonna have to be toned back for Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man will ever and only be PG-13 at the most. This one's Frank's in it. It's going to be PG-13. It's probably going to be the hardest PG-13 that Marvel's ever put out. You know, they're going to take it right to that fucking line. They know. If they may not know much right now, but Marvel knows that, like, we love the Punisher. We love to see Frank doing like severely violent Frank shit. But we're gonna get a ton of that in the special. And I have a feeling that they are going to give us as literally as much as the MPAA will allow without an R rating. Like, they will go right to that line and maybe make it, do one of these from the pressure. I think that's how they're going to handle it. So some people are saying that, because of that, they're calling it a nerfing of Frank. Not a nerfing of Frank. They're not making him less powerful by any stretch of the imagination. Like, he's still going to be badass fucking Frank Castle, kicking the ever-loving shit and killing people. It's just a matter of the level of brutality in said violence is going to be taken down a few notches. That's it. That's not a nerf. At least not in my opinion. Where's this thing? Another footage. Okay, this is kind of cool. This is just a quick little blurb. Like, in the grand. What up, Delta Dan? In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really fucking matter. I just think this is, just in and of itself as its own little isolated thing. I think is cool. They built a full scale AT-AT for the Mandalorian. Full fucking scale. That's sweet. That's all. I just think that's really cool that they built a full scale AT-AT to use in the Mandalorian. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So there's an article that came out, talking about what Feige says Punisher is going to be like. Says Kevin Feige confirms Punisher will be different in Spider-Man Brand New Day. In a surprising announcement that felt straight out of the comics, it was confirmed that Jon Bernthal would be reprising his role as Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, for the MCU movie Spider-Man Brand New Day. Of course, fans have been curious how that combination will work out on the big screen, especially given the more mature style of the Punisher. Now, Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige has confirmed that the Punisher will be different in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Feige explained this while speaking in a roundtable interview, and as shared via CBM, this will result in a different tone for the Punisher's appearance in the new movie. Of course, putting the usually R-rated character into a PG-13 Spider-Man movie on the big screen would definitely have some tone changes. Here's what Feige shared. When Punisher is in the Spider-Man movie, it'll be a different tonality. In a much more detailed response, Feige continued to explain how the characters will work with one another, further calling Spider-Man Brand New Day a movie with street-level crime, rather than the world-ending events we've seen Peter Parker deal with so far. Okay, here we go. Big old quote. I think there's a promise at the end of No Way Home that, for as sad as it is that Peter's forgotten by everyone in his life, we are seeing for the first time in the Tom Holland Spider-Man stories him being a proper Spider-Man. Him being by himself, dedicated to saving the city and dealing with, for lack of better terms, street-level crime, as opposed to world-ending events. So, when you do that, you say, okay, who are the other street-level characters that we've never seen him interact with? And of course, I love that the Punisher started in a Spider-Man comic. That great cover. I don't want to say too much, but Destin, I will say too much. Destin is doing an amazing job right now on that movie, which starts shooting very soon. Okay, so this was obviously not within the last couple days. And he's got 8 or 9 comic covers up on his wall in his art department that he's bringing to life in this movie, which is super cool. Yeah, we actually talked about that. That was there was a shot of some of those comic covers, and that's when we saw Tarantula, Boomerang, and I think Tombstone, each on a different cover. So, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So, yeah, basically, I mean, it's not like Feige didn't really say much right there, honestly. At least nothing that we wouldn't have been that logic wouldn't have told us on our own. Yeah, like Frank isn't going to be able to go like full Frank into PG-13. But again, I am very willing to bet that they will push that line as far as they will be allowed to push it. In my opinion. At least that's what I would do. I'd be like, okay, fine. Punisher's going to be a PG-13 movie. All right. Let's do absolutely as much as we can possibly get away with, just to keep him as Punisher as we can within the rating. That's what I would do. All right. Bear with me, chat. All right, I guess I did not book it, but I have one. Now this one is from that James Meckwell guy that Josh finally decided again to block because he doesn't trust him. I'm still undecided, like 100% undecided. He's gotten some stuff and he's been way the fuck off on stuff. So, but I'm gonna talk about what he says mostly just to keep track. So he dropped this the other day. This update they're talking about for Frank, and again, this is something I would have referenced. Daniel Ortiz, did you fix that broken ass microphone yet? Well, yeah, can't you fucking tell? Or did you not bother to listen before you asked the question? By the way, thanks for coming by, appreciate it. But yeah, did you not listen first before you asked it the question? But yeah, I have. So anyway, again, consider the source, but at the same time, he does also reference RP cases. This update they're talking about for Frank isn't some kind of iron armor or anything like that. Don't get your hopes up. Well, if accurate, god damn it. It's about advanced tech weapons, heavy artillery, and as RPK said, a tank. Well, yeah, that'd be the tank with what looks like the inner demon symbol on it, and we will be getting to that as well. But yeah, that's kind of a bummer because I know we all really wanted War Machine Punisher. Can't understand me. Well, you'd be the only one because you're the only one that said anything about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a you problem. Just because I don't have any evidence otherwise from anyone else in the chat the entire time I've been streaming for the last hour and 6 minutes. So, yeah, the evidence is not in your favor. I'll just put it that way. Anywho, yeah. So yeah, I know a lot of people were throwing around the idea of War Machine Punisher, mostly because how the fuck you gonna fight Hulk as Punisher? You know, don't get butthurt for telling the truth. I'm not getting butthurt. I'm just saying you're literally the only one that's brought it up in the last hour and 7 minutes, and my community would have told me by now. See, there you go. So don't get butthurt for me correcting you, sir. Like I said, the evidence is totally against you. Can't tell you anything more than that. This is cool. Y'all familiar with Alex Ross, comic book artist extraordinaire? Well, he did a quick little post having to do with Spider-Man Brand New Day from Alex Ross. Obviously, this is Alex Ross Spider-Man art. Look at the shine in the reflection. And then juxtaposed against Tom Holland's new suit. Do another little clicky clip. Alex Ross's drawing. The suit we're getting in Brand New Day. Man. No, not butthurt at all. I would be butthurt about it if it was actually true. Problem is, it doesn't seem to be. Well, the problem for you is it doesn't seem to be true. Yeah, that is pretty. When you see them side by side like that, that's pretty damn sweet. It means someone over there is finally paying attention. At least that's how I see it. And that's pretty damn cool. Oh, yeah. So this is pretty cool. So Deadline. Nope, they're just going to do it. Okay, so anyway. So Deadline popped off. This is really fun, guys. Tell me what you think of it. Oh, there's a link. This is the Spider-Punk animated feature from Daniel Kaluuya and Ajan Singh in development at Sony. Exclusive. Sony Pictures Animation is in early development on a Spider-Punk animated features from co-writers Daniel Kaluuya, Judas and the Black Messiah, and Ajan Singh. Primetime Deadline has learned. Plot details are under wraps, and there are no other deals in place at this time. The natural assumption, of course, is that Kaluuya will reprise the role of Spider-Punk, which he played in 2023's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and will reprise in the upcoming Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Amy Pascal will join Christopher Miller and Phil Lord of Lord Miller in producing after working with them on the Spider-Verse movies and other projects. So this is Lord Miller still going to be doing this too. Awesome. Created by writer Dan Slott and artist Olivier Coipel. I'm sticking with what I'm pretty sure is the French pronunciation. Olivier Coipel. Spider-Punk, a.k.a. Hobie Brown, is the version of Spider-Man who leans into a more anarchistic, anti-establishment attitude than Peter Parker's version. Residing on Earth 138, the character is fueled by his desire to help take down corrupt systems. He first appeared during a Spider-Verse crossover event as part of 2015's The Amazing Spider-Man number 10. Okay, blah, 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 blah. SEO. Okay, more about him, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerds of all sorts, type sizes. Can't understand what I'm saying? Seriously, my microphone is trash? Well, you're entitled to your opinion, but unfortunately that's just opinion because the fact is everyone else except you can understand me. And if you can't understand what I'm saying, how do you know, how are you getting the impression I sound butthurt if you can't understand me? So not only are you wrong about my microphone, you aren't even making logical sense. So either you can hear me and I sound butthurt, or you can't understand what I'm saying. Which is it? Yeah, I know. Yes, Brennan, I know he's trolling, but I'm better at it, obviously. Yeah, little bit of life advice. If you're going to troll someone, make sure you're better at it than they are. Internalize that. Anywho, oh yeah. So I don't know about y'all, but I fucking loved the Hobie character in Across the Spider Verse, and we're getting an animated feature from the guy starring the guy. What do y'all think about that? How do you guys feel about a Spider Punk or a whole animated feature dedicated to Spider Punk from Across the Spider Verse? Okay, so you can understand me, which means my mic is fine, and you're. So thank you for picking which direction you wanted to be full of shit in. Appreciate it. Don't forget to hit like. But yeah, how do you guys feeling about that? Spider Punk gets his own feature. I like it. I love that character. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. Now, what's interesting is RPK popped in. He quote tweeted it and then added this little tidbit. There's also an animated Spider Women. I wonder if he meant women. I mean, there are a couple, three in the Spider Verse film, so maybe he did mean women and not woman. But we'll take him as he typed it and say Spider Women and Venom films in development, animated, not live action, not Tom Hardy anymore. Animated Venom and animated Spider Woman. Now, assuming RPK is correct, how do you feel about those? I like all those ideas. Like the Spider Woman in the Spider Verse movies, they did that character really well. I like her. I think she's dope. I would imagine that also Spider Gwen would be in that. Again, going by how he typed it, Spider Women plural. So I would imagine Spider Gwen's going to be in there. That Spider Woman, the one version of Spider Woman, probably maybe a couple others. Who knows? Maybe maybe they'll take the characters from Madam Web, except for maybe Madam Web, and throw them in that movie and do them correctly in animation, since they obviously could not pull it off in live action. Now, I doubt they would get the actresses. Like, I don't think Sydney Sweeney's going to come back and voice whichever Spider character she was, or what have you. But on the whole, I think that's I think that's all cool ideas. Like, honestly, based on the quality of the Spider Verse movies and based on the quality of the live action SSU movies, I think this is a damn smart move by Sony. Like, real talk. If these animated features are, at least fairly close in quality and awesomeness to Beyond the Spider Verse, Sony could have a real something something here. You know what I mean? And let's face it, Into the Spider Verse and Across the Spider Verse are slappers. If Beyond the Spider-Verse is another slapper, I'd say they got a really good base to build off of. And then if this Spider-Punk one, again, close to or the same quality, if Sony can pull that off repeatedly, they might have themselves a nice little animated SSU that could be pretty fucking successful. This might just be the move for Sony. What do you guys think? What do you think about that? Okay. The material of this shirt, absolutely garbage for wiping off glasses. That's, what do you think, Chizat? You think this is a good idea? Sony doing all these animated movies? You think this might just be the move in general for them when it comes to their how they handle the Spider-Man franchise over yonder? I feel like this might be the move. I feel like it could be easier for them to maintain quality on the animated side. You know what I mean? I think this might be the move. Oh, here's another quick little tidbit about the Punisher special. Academy Award winner Robert Elswit of There Will Be Blood and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which is one of the fucking best Mission Impossible movies in the series, like top 2 or 3, is the cinematographer for the Punisher special. Are you familiar with either of those projects, Kat? There Will Be Blood, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation? I keep meaning to watch There Will Be Blood, but I haven't gotten to it, or maybe I have. Is that the one with Javier Bardem in it? Ooh, that's the one with Javier Bardem in it where he's killing people with that fucking like air tank thing. Yeah, that was good. That was well shot. And Rogue Nation, I mean, so yeah, Punisher special that's gonna have been filmed really fucking well, y'all. That is gonna look fucking good. Oh yeah, that's right. I shared that with you. Okay. Okay. Here's another quick little side tidbit. Any y'all a fan of the show The Boys? Y'all heard of The Boys? You like The Boys? Have you watched The Boys? It's over there on the Amazon Prime. Anyone here a fan of The Boys? I like The Boys. I think it's a really good show. Fucking extra, like very, very extra. Like you got to have a high tolerance for extra to watch that show, but I have a pretty high tolerance for extra, at least their style of extra. So I'm a fan. I mean, sometimes I'm like, damn, they did that. Okay. But yeah, overall, really, really, really dig the show. So, and I don't know if you heard, they've got spin offs of that planned. Quite a number of them, if I recall correctly. But one of the spin offs is about to go into production. The Boys prequel series Vought Rising begins filming later this month. set in the 1950s. The show will feature Soldier Boy and Stormfront, a twisted murder mystery at the heart of Vought's rise to power. Okay, yeah, not a whole lot of detail in there, but A, I like The Boys. I like Gen V, the first spinoff that we got. So if this is at least on par quality-wise with Gen V, we're in for a pretty good show, in my opinion. I'm a big fan of fucking Ackles, Jensen Ackles, like from Supernatural. I love him as an actor, and I really enjoyed Stormfront when she was on The Boys before Homelander's son like killed her. So, so it's going to be those two in a twisted murder mystery. Wow, murder happening. Twisted murder happening shit happening with Vought. What is the problem? But still, I'm very much looking forward to it. So far, the Boys franchise has not disappointed me yet. We'll see. I mean, obviously, for every project that comes out has a chance to be either awesome or a disappointment. So we will see. It begins filming later this month. So I would imagine it's probably, well, no. Boys, Season 5 of The Boys is coming out next year. I don't know if they will crowd that with this, so I'm guessing probably early 2027 for this. That's just a guess. Total guess, total speculation. Twisted won't be hard for this series. That facts. That is facts. All right. So, all right. So let's just talk about this real quick because it's fucking depressing. Get this out of the way. Talk about the Fantastic Four box office some more. So Fantastic Four earns a fantastic, 6.3 million on Tuesday and has now passed 207 million at the domestic box office and 378 million worldwide. Why am I bringing this up? Well, it is because we are, as it is now Wednesday. Obviously, this was posted today, so it would include today's totals, whatever paltry amount that's going to be. But we are going into the third weekend of Fantastic Four's release. And it has not even yet crossed 400 million. By the way, I quote tweeted this. And I am now, after this number, I am now officially concerned. Is this movie even going to hit 500 million? It's only at 378. Going into the third weekend, it hasn't even hit 400 million. Like, will this movie even get to 500 million at this point? Like, it's probably not going to be in the theater past like week 5. I doubt Disney's going to keep it in the theater for like maybe 6 weeks, maybe. But I think Jurassic World's out in 5 weeks, and that motherfucker cranked out. I think it's creeping up on 800 million. I think this might be its last weekend in the theater. If I remember what I'm seeing right, don't quote me on that. I'm not 100. Okay. But yeah, this movie might only have 2 more weeks after this weekend, like left in the theater to make anything, and it hasn't even hit 400. And if y'all remember, like its second weekend, it only made like 45. And now we're going to the third weekend where it's going to be another drop off, more than likely. Hopefully not as severe, because that means it'll only make like 10 million bucks. Sorry, 15 million. If it has a similar drop off of 66, 67%, that means it'll only make 15 million this weekend, which would only bring the total to 393 million, which would be more than Brave New World, but it still wouldn't be. And then it would have like a week left. I don't know that this movie's even going to hit 500 million now, guys. I don't. Holy shit. Like, it's going to have to be in the theater for 6 or 7 weeks to even have a chance at that, the way this is going right now. This is insane. Now, if it manages only a 50% drop off, now we're talking like right on the verge of 400 million. But still, that's still 100 million away from 500 million with, like, again, maybe 2-3 weeks if they're really lucky after this weekend to make another $100 million, when weekend 2 topped out at 45 domestic. Like, I don't know that this movie's going to get to 500 million. Well, I wouldn't go that far. They went and saw Jurassic World. That motherfucker's like gonna if it hasn't hit 800 million yet, it's gonna be an $800 million movie, 100%. No, people are going to see some shit, but they're not going to comic book shit much anymore. At least not for names that they don't immediately recognize. And again, Fantastic Four is known in the nerdy world. We know they're the first family of Marvel. Normies, thanks to the MCU, now know the Avengers. They know Wolverine. They know the X-Men in general. Fantastic Four, that's still straight nerd shit. Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm actually, at least in terms of what they're going to make in the box office, fairly concerned. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. There is, however, chat, despite those paltry ass box office numbers, although I'm gonna go right to the source. Bear with me for just a little bit more, chat. I forgot you're watching all this shit. Okay. Make no mistake. Everyone will come out for Spidey. Oh, yeah. 100%. Which that brings up a whole nother conversation, though. Yeah. Oh, Rufus. Oh, hey. You again. Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. Well, it's not my mom's basement because she's passed on. But, you know, outside of that, yeah. Well, this is just being insanely over the top. What the hell? Wrong button. Insanely over the top. Yes, I'm feeling it. Let's go with it. Okay. Okay. Uh, boom. Okay. So this came out earlier today. Big Man 2.0. Oh, the Wiener guy's back. Nice. What's up? How you doing? Well, too bad it's not that large or that veiny. So you probably wouldn't want to hang here. Sorry. Anywho, We got this. According, again, we're bringing Jeff Snyder back into the mix. More Fantastic Four news. According to Jeff Snyder, Matt Shackman is likely. Keep that in mind. He used the word likely. Set to return and direct a Fantastic Four sequel. All right. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you liking him, Vaney. To each their own. So, interesting. Now, obviously, I like the Fantastic Four movie. I think Matt Shackman did a fucking tremendous ass job on that movie. Would I like to see him direct another Fantastic Four movie? Hell yeah. Would I like to see him direct other projects in the MCU? Hell yes. I'm just surprised that a Fantastic Four sequel is even being talked about. Again, considering what we just talked about with the box office and the fact that this movie is, it appears that it's going to struggle just to get to 500 million. Now, I would guess that they are hoping that because they are going to be prominent yet again in both Doomsday and Secret Wars, that would be, that would boost their popularity enough to the point where people would actually desire a sequel to the Fantastic Four movie. So I would guess they're banking on that happening, because otherwise, from a business perspective, doesn't make too much sense. Okay to be gay like Schilling. I mean, I don't know who Schilling is, but yeah, if Schilling's gay, that's nothing wrong with that. Now, Schilling, I am straight as due north, but if I wasn't, not a big deal either. But I will say this: as much as you bring it up, I'm starting to wonder if you aren't closeted. Sequel would be years out. Oh, 100%. It would not be till probably till 2029, I would imagine. Because they got Secret Wars is December 27. X-Men is going to be 28. Do I like Disney Star Wars? I like isolated things in it. Overall, no, they've done a completely shit job. KK should have been fired fucking no less than 5 years ago. Probably more. Yeah, the sequels suck. Acolyte sucked. Kenobi had like two good things. Book of Boba Fett was weak. Yeah, no, Disney Wars sucks like 90% of it. Like, I think the stuff I like best is animated. Season 7 of the Clone Wars, Bad Batch. Tales of the Jedi was good. Tales of the Empire was butt cheeks. Tales of the Bounty Hunter was decent. But yeah, no, I'd say overall, no. I like isolated projects, but in a general manager, general manager. But yeah, just overall, generally speaking, not a fan much of Disney Wars. Lucas Wars peak, Disney Wars peak. To some. You mean the guy that likes veins? There's nothing wrong with him liking veins. I'm not offended by it, and I can use the engagement. Like, I don't care if Uncle Rufus, actually, given the direction it seems like he's going, a more appropriate handle would be Uncle Doofus. Yeah, I don't even mind Uncle Doofus as long as he doesn't cross a certain line. Because, like I said, I can use the engagement. So, come on, Uncle Doofus, keep trolling. You'll just be benefiting me, and you'll give me a chance to engage my full snark. Basically, you're fucking entertainment. Only for 20 minutes? Oh, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, troll all you want, Uncle Doofus, but just realize you're probably going to get your outmatched, number one. I'm going to shit all over you. And, well, yeah, actually, it was like I told, what was his name, Daniel Ortiz earlier. If you're going to troll, make sure you're better at trolling than the person you're trying to troll. And you've made a big mistake, Uncle Doofus, in that you are nowhere near as good a troll as him. I can already tell. But feel free to keep trying. Like I said, you're entertaining. So yeah, no, like, personally, I am totally down for a Fantastic Four sequel. I thought that movie was really fucking good. I like Shackman. I actually want Shackman to do more projects in the MCU, not just get out of your book, not just stick with the Fantastic Four. I want him. I want to see. I want to see what he would do with other people, other characters, other stories. I think that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, personally, I'm down for a Fantastic Four sequel. Um, I think, again, I think they're hoping that the next two Avengers movies are gonna pump up their street cred to the point where a sequel would actually make money. um, and frankly, that's what would have to happen for a sequel to make money. Like, Doomsday and Secret Wars are going to have to like give them a shit ton of cachet, because otherwise the sequel wouldn't do anywhere near as well. Now, one little caveat to that, and that would be if Marvel has pulled itself out of the rut and is delivering consistent slappies, that also would justify a Fantastic Four sequel. Like, it would do better than this one did, simply because Marvel would be, if not all the way back to the Infinity, like end of Infinity Saga levels. I should really be more specific. Oh, there she is. Hi, Daniela. Um, where was I? Oh yeah. So yeah, that's another way a Fantastic Four sequel could be at least more successful. Um, is if Marvel overall is, you know, back on track. But yeah. But so if you wanted to base the decision solely on how this this iteration of the Fantastic Four is doing right now, not smart. But there are there are plenty of chances for mitigating circumstances between now and when this would even come out. Again, I won't, even if it does actually fucking happen. Um, again, I don't see it happening till at the earliest late 2028. But I really think not till 2029. Like, they need to get the X Men established before they go fucking around back with the Fantastic Four in a solo movie. Now they could pop the Fantastic Four in and out of all kinds of stories. As a matter of fact, that's really how they're handled in the comics. I mean, yes, they do have their own line, but a lot of their best stories, as far as I know, and you know, I'm getting this from other people who like really love Marvel comics, like Rob from Comics Explained. I've seen him talk about this. Fantastic Four tend to be at their most popular and work the best in an ensemble situation. So if the MCU was to take that tack with them and just, you know, bring them in here and there, like, you know, drop them in this event, that event, then yeah, that could be that could actually be pretty dope and could, you know, allow a sequel to actually be successful. Unlike this one. Yeah, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think, chat? All right. I'm going to step away. I'm going to pee. I'm going to grab myself another pop real quick. Yeah, let me know what you think about that, or in the case of Daniela and Uncle Doofus, your latest pathetic attempt at trolling me. All right. Leave go steal my neighbor's catalytic converter. Oh, Darth Disabilities. Well, if that's your idea of an insult, your last name pretty much covers what's going on between your ears. Yep. Been on a 6-day bender? Hell no. I've been working, motherfucker. Yeah, you guys keep coming on in here with your low IQ insults. It's totally fine. All right. So, y'all remember talking about this here symbol on this here tank? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember how a lot of people were thinking this is the symbol for the Inner Demon Gang? The leader of said gang being one Mr. Negative, and we were all getting fucking excited about it. Well, slight problem. Alex Perez, we've talked about him plenty. Before he took his break from social media and suspended his Twitter account, he came out and said that no, Mr. Negative. As Josh, what he did to the 90K he scammed, well, he didn't scam it. He's going to have that book out just nowhere near as fast as he thought he would. He made some rookie mistakes. Have you ever like tried to start an entire project like that? Dearth to Sibyllitis? Ever actually thought about what that would entail? How complicated it could get? How it only takes one little thing to set the entire motherfucking thing back like once? No? Didn't think so. So, again, never going to happen? Well, you're wrong. And, yeah. Don't answer. He's too busy stuffing hot dogs. What? I mean, I don't work in a hot dog factory. I haven't been eating hot dogs. I don't have any hot dogs anywhere near me. So, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, like, hot dogs are delicious. Pony dogs are amazing. Yeah, nope. I do not work for a hot dog factory. Aw, did you guys ban him or just mute him? I'm sorry. Is my shitting on these people distracting? I'm sorry. Where was I? Oh, yes, Mr. Negative. And how Alex Perez said he's not going to be in this motherfucking movie. Which, big old bummer. However, um, there actually is another possibility. There was a mute. Okay. There was a line. There was or a line of comics, a run. Wasn't you this time? Oh, I don't care. 5 minutes. All right, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, if you guys get sick of them, yeah, just mute them for a little while, but don't ban them. Again, shitting on morons like that is fucking fun for me, and I can use the engagement as well. So yeah, let them fill up my chat. I don't care to a point. So yeah, if they want to give me free engagement in a pathetic attempt to troll me, I'm totally cool with that. Where all these Doomcock fans come from? No, these are Melvinites. These are Knights of Melvin. And feel free to carry this message back to him. It's not the first time I've said this, but he's a bitch. If he's as manly as he claimed, he'd say all the stupid ass, shitty, dumb things he would say proudly with his face right on out. But he doesn't because he's a bitch. Oh, you met Melvin? Yeah. Yep, they're all stupid bitches together. It's cool. And I mean that both words, stupid and bitches. You're dumb and you're bitches. Anywho, where was I? Yes. So yes, hopes dashed about Inner Demon, but there was a run of comics that involved a symbol similar to this, and another nefarious group, a popular group, a group we all like. There was a line of comics chat in which Punisher is leading the hand, and this was his symbol during that run. Identical, exact copy? No. Somewhat similar. Yeah. Now, not even like super similar, but again, this is Marvel. Or I should say, this is the MCU. They never do a one for one. They tweak stuff, they do whatever. But given that Alex, and again, I trust him, he doesn't get everything right, but he's still like top tier. So if he says it's not going to be Mr. Negative, especially this close to, well, especially with it already being in production, unless Marvel really, really suckered him, then yeah, this at least ends up on the table. And that would be a big reason for Spider-Man to be fighting Punisher. Not to mention the hand is dope. Now, personally, I don't see it happening. There's going to be too much going on in this movie already to even think about bringing the hand in. And besides, there's also that Daredevil storyline where he ends up leading the hand, going overboard to calm down. If not York as a whole. So, honestly, that's what I kind of hope. I kind of hope they utilize the hand in Daredevil. Honestly, that show could use that kind of punch just because it's a Disney Plus show. You know what I mean? And then once they establish the hand on Daredevil, then they could bring it into yet another Spider-Man movie later on down the line. Then we finally get the Spider-Man Daredevil team up we've been fucking wanting, with them facing off against the hand and maybe a couple other villains, because it's Spider-Man and he's teaming up. So one villain would be kind of boring. 11's your cutoff on work nights. That's 11 should be my cutoff on work nights too, but it never is. Besides, we still got more shit to talk about. Yeah. So, just wanted to throw that out there as something that's being considered at least as an alternative. Again, assuming Alex is correct, and there is no Mr. Negative, which is a bit of a bummer. Because that also means if there's no Mr. Negative, Mr. Negative also happens to be, when we thought that was him, one of the best ways to turn Hulk savage. Mr. Negative could have very easily turned Hulk savage. And it would have been highly plausible for him to be the cause. But now that he's not, got some other stuff. Now, y'all remember when it was confirmed that Michael Mando is going to reprise his role of Scorpion from Homecoming? Well, he posted this image on his Instagram. Obviously, this is him in what looks like the standard Scorpion uniform, and he's also posted a couple other pictures of toys in the standard Scorpion uniform. So evidently it looks like he's hinting that we are going to get a pretty comic accurate Scorpion, which is fucking cool. Okay. But then there's also this. Now, this looks like it could be a Venom version of Scorpion. I don't know. Even Venomized, I still think that looks off for Scorpion. Charles Murphy threw out an interesting possibility. I don't remember what came out first. What he said. Okay, yeah. So, this is as an alternative, and he proposed this the same day as the Scorpion picture was posted. And this again was after the Mr. Negative news came out. Charles Murphy, just for fun, proposed this. What if it wasn't Savage Hulk in Brand New Day, but rather Venom Hulk? What if Professor Hulk gets venomized? How cool would Venom Hulk be, guys? Honestly, I don't think that's the route they're going. But just for fun, how fucking sweet would Venom Hulk be? My God, chat. That would be amazing. At least in my opinion. Venom Hulk would be so fucking Now, again, I have no inside knowledge. I'm not known enough for anyone with inside knowledge to even consider speaking to me, obviously. But just in terms of what they probably have planned for this movie and the fact that it's going to be so ridiculously street level, I don't really see that happening. But yeah, I have no idea how they would defeat. The only way I can think of that they would defeat him is to trap him in like an area where they can just hit him from all sides with whatever frequency fucks up the symbiotes and bounce it off him that way and contain it somehow. That's the only way I can see them doing that. And that's assuming it's a venomized Professor Hulk who will come to his senses. Now, I would imagine a venomized Professor Hulk would end up savage even after the symbiote got removed. So what if they spent... All right, walk with me on this one. I literally just came up with this on the spot. Say Charles is true, right? Say we get venomized Hulk. Say it's venomized Professor Hulk. Okay. So they, obviously destruction and all that kind of shit ensues, but say they get him to, a similar scenario to what I said, where they can hit him with the frequency that fucks up the symbiote. Gets the Venom symbiote off of Professor Hulk, expecting to find Professor Hulk when they get rid of the symbiote. But instead, just the fact that the symbiote took him over turned him into Savage Hulk, and then they still have to deal with Savage Hulk after they contain the symbiote. Yeah. Yeah. You better not talk him down again and hug it out. I would. I mean, obviously, yeah. They better not fucking do that. Later, Griff. Delta Dan, you're on troll duty. Awesome. Have a good night, Griff, man. We'll see you. I'll be watching for alerts from that one Discord. So, for random squadding and shit. But yeah, so what if we actually get both, man? What if we get Professor Hulk getting venomized, and then once they get the symbiote off of him, just the fact that he was symbioted, possessed, whatever you want to fucking call it, turns him savage anyway. I don't know. I think that's a cool idea. What do you guys think? Oops, God damn it. What do you guys think? I think that'd be sweet. I think that would be sweet. I think that would be sweet.
Very sweet. Super sweet.
Okay, so I got one little more tidbit on the Spider-Man, not super important. You just don't want weak Hulk? Yeah, me, yeah, nor do I. Or like you said, they wrap Venom Hulk up and the symbiote jumps to Peter before Doomsday. Oh, there you go. Black suit Peter. Yeah. That, there you go. Oh no, Smart Hulk does equal weak Hulk for the most part. Or at least weaker anyway. And not just in terms of actual physical strength, just a weaker character. Like Hulk is better when he's like the literal dichotomy of normal human ass Bruce Banner and then huge fucking green rage monster. Like it works better with the Jekyll and the Hyde. You need that back. The Jekyll and Hyde dichotomy just works better. Professor Hulk sucks. I mean, he was okay for literally just Infinity War and Endgame, but yeah, it needs to be done. Needs to be done. Needs to be done. Actually, you know what? That is. You know what? I'm just going to share this little bit of news, just because I can make a joke out of it, and that is this: Avengers OG is Hulk. I like, yes, 100%. Actually, you know what? Even that Hulk is still a little tame because he's a little bit in control. The true Savage Hulk in the sense Edward Norton was in Age of Ultron after Wanda blasted him and he went and tore up that town. When Tony fought him in the Hulkbuster armor, that was full on Savage Hulk. That like even more so than what we got in Avengers. Because in Avengers he was under control a little bit. Like, you know, he listened to Captain America. Like rescued Tony. You know, kept Tony from slamming into the earth, into the ground. So yeah, even that was not full on like crazy ass Savage. Now, again, Age of Ultron, after Wanda fucked with his mind, that was pure Savage Hulk. Did not give a fuck about anything. Just freaking the fuck out and tearing it. Yeah. All right. One last little Spider-Man tidbit. And again, this is only so I can make it joke. Angry Rice, I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it, will reprise her role as Betty Brant in Spider-Man Brand New Day. The character rumored will be a one-time temporary love interest in Brand New Day. Now, this comes from MCU Report, so who the fuck knows, first of all, how reliable that is. But second of all, why the hell would I even bring this up? Like I said, to make a joke. I doubt she's going to be a temporary love interest of Peter Parker. So the way I see it, Ned gonna hit it and quit it. Ned gonna get his groove on and then move on. Yeah. Gonna bang Betty and then Jetty. That's it. I just wanted to bring it up to make those kind of jokes. That's all. That's all. All right, chat. Any further thoughts on Spider-Man before we move on to a very fresh crop of Doomsday rumors? And yeah, I didn't mention these in the thumbnail or the title because I didn't see them until after I already had all that shit done. Yes, I know I can change the title. Then I would have had to change the thumbnail. And it was getting kind of close to stream. So I said, fuck it. I will just throw them in there as a nice little surprise. Groupon with Groupon, exactly. All right, now, first things first. All of these, excuse me, come from an, at least as far as I know, pretty new account. Okay, they've actually been around since 2020, but they only just recently came to my awareness, and this account came to my awareness because that James Macwell dude reposted him. So, like, I have no idea if this person is reliable. I have no idea if it's an alt account for James Macwell. Like, no idea at all. But while I have no clue how reliable this person is, rumors are still fun to talk about and speculate about, so we're going to fucking talk about them. And if they're not accurate, oh fucking well. We don't care. But they're interesting. So we're going to talk about them. How's that sound, Jack? We'll talk about some new doomsday rumors, even though they're from an, at best, nebulous source. Let me rephrase that. Even though they're from a source whose quality is at best nebulous. That's a better way to put it, more accurate. Grammatically. All right. We begin. There have been talks about the Widow Sue 838 meeting Sue 828 in upcoming Avengers movies, and both joining forces against Doom to rescue Franklin. Now, this is where the way that forget about the first part, which is actually would be really super fucking cool if I actually did that shit. Is this talking about joining forces against Doom to rescue Franklin? And after listening to a bunch of people's analysis on that post-credit scene for the Fantastic Four, I'm no longer convinced Franklin needs to be rescued. At least, it doesn't appear that way for now. Again, Doom could totally Doom, be popping in to be like, hey, guess what? Sorry about missing that Galactus thing, but guess what I found out's going on? And it makes Galactus look like a punk bitch. And then proceeds to tell them about the multiverse destroying itself and incursions and all that shit. But, after he worms his way into that, everyone gets together, does what they're going to do, makes a plan. Doom, at that point, could very easily grab Franklin and Jack, as part of his plan. Totally within the realm of possibility. Just saying, there was no indication of an attempted kidnapping in the post-credit scene. That's as far as I can really go with it. Doesn't mean it couldn't happen later. But let's just say Doom kidnapping Franklin is not as sure a thing as we once thought. I'll put it that way. Now, that being said, there have been and they did specifically say there have been talks, not that it's going to happen. It's just something they've considered. But as an idea, this is fucking dope. Widow Sue 838 meeting Sue 828 in the upcoming Avengers movies. Joining forces against Doom to rescue. There were internal discussions about the actual existence of a Sue 838 and her intense hatred for Wanda Maximoff for killing her husband. So, yeah. So we got Vanessa Kirby, Sue 828. And then we would have the unseen widow of Reed Richards from Multiverse of Madness teaming up with Vanessa Kirby Sue to go after Doom. Now, here's the question. I love that idea. Like, I love that idea. I think that'd be sweet. And it could create some tension between the two. Like, because 838 Sue would just want that motherfucker dead. Like, she would want Doom dead. Actually, she would want Wanda dead. But, if speculation is even remotely accurate, Wanda's probably going to be somewhere around Doom at some point just because of her power that we that has been surmised Doom would need to complete his plans, along with Franklin's power and Loki's power. So it's entirely possible, especially if Doom and Wanda are teamed up. 838 Sue could be like, yeah, I will help you fuck them both up because I want Wanda dead. Now, her even wanting to go that far, at least insofar as how Vanessa Kirby Sue has been portrayed, that would create some tension between them because I don't think those like outright wanting to murder motherfuckers, she would be down for. Now, that being said, Vanessa Kirby did say in an interview she would love to explore Malice Sue. That means we get Jessica Alba Sue. I'm all in. I mean, they could recast her for that Sue. I mean, that's not her Sue. She's entirely a different Sue. So, yeah, because this Sue we've never seen. Just remember in Multiverse of Madness when Wanda invades the Illuminati and Reed's trying to calm her down and she's like, "Do you have children?" He's like, "Yes, 2," which means he's had Franklin and Valeria. That version had both Franklin and Valeria. And then, she spaghettifies him. Yeah, this would be that Sue. That's 838. We haven't seen her. I would imagine if this does become a thing, now again, he said this has been talked, but if this idea does become a thing, I doubt it would be Jessica Alba. I think they would get another new actress for that Sue. Because let's face it, like the MCU has not been consistent in how they've handled variants. I mean, all the Kings they had look alike. They got all the Doctor Stranges looking alike. But Fantastic Four, all different universe to universe. Like in 838 and 10005. What's Monica's mom's name? Captain Marvel's friend when Monica was a kid. Maria Rambeau. While she looks the same from universe to universe, in the 616 she had no powers at all. In 838, she was Captain Marvel. And then in 10005, the X-Men universe, she's binary and has no kids. So, I mean, they can look the same sometimes, but be super duper different. Or they can look completely different from universe to universe. You just never know. So while they could recast Alba for that, they could like double up Kirby for that if they wanted to. Personally, again, if big if this does become a thing, I think they would cast somebody new. Emily Blunt, yeah. Like it still wouldn't be anyone huge because remember Marvel is considering prices. It's going to be a 3-hour movie to handle all this. I mean, if the Russos were accurate, they said Doomsday is going to be 2.5 and Secret Wars is going to be 3. Personally, I think they should. I agree with you. They need to tack half-hour minimum onto each of those movies. If not, make Doomsday 3 and make Secret Wars 2 to 2.5 hour movies. That ain't. But yeah, now again, this is just an idea that's been bounced around, just been talked. But personally, I think it's a dope fucking idea. I would love to see that fucking 838 Sue on the warpath, like super fucking angry. That would be sweet. Now, again, this is all coming from this main middleman account. This is another thing they dropped. Avengers Doomsday will have a more striking opening than Infinity War and Endgame, with a major occurrence right in the opening scene. Internally, the film is also described as a psychological drama thriller. There will be many more mature and distressing moments. I mean that actually makes sense. I mean, if Doom is going to have the face of Tony Stark, like there's going to be a lot of mental trauma when his true intentions are revealed, and everyone's like, "God damn it!" So, yeah, psychological drama thriller, I can see as long as there's a shit ton of action too. Well, I mean, opening up with a major occurrence, like again, yeah, like Infinity War did with Thanos. Well, the aftermath of Thanos attacking Thor's ship, or yeah, the Asgardian ship. I mean, that was a big thing. So, but yeah, but more striking. That's saying something right there. That more striking is that you're that was a pretty high level of striking in the beginning of Infinity War, man. Thanos dog walking Hulk, killing Loki. Like that was reasonably intense all on its own. Oh, killing fucking Heimdall. Um, yeah, that was fairly intense, and this is gonna be even more striking, allegedly. Shit, bro. What the fuck? And psychological drama. Yeah, that totally makes sense too. I mean, again, bad guy having face of the ultimate good guy as far as the 616 heroes are concerned. That's psychological drama just waiting to fucking happen. So, now this is interesting. Macwell popped in with the comment on the psychological drama thriller thing, and he says one of the biggest psychological themes explored in it will involve Bob. Now, at first glance, you'd probably be like, "Wait, what the fuck? Why? Why?" But consider the power of the void that is in Bob, and that is probably power that Doom would find extremely handy in order to bring his actual plans into fruition, like the power of the void, Wanda's chaos magic, uh, Franklin's reality warping power, Loki, Loki's massive amount of power that he's got holding the multiverse together to throw in at the end of time. Like, yeah, this actually does kind of make sense. Um, that one of the psychological themes would involve Bob because, as we found out in Thunderbolts, when Bob ain't feeling that great, we get the void. All right, so this one leads to another. So we'll just go with this one. Halle Berry will return in the upcoming Avengers movie. Well, we hope so. I mean, obviously, there was no chair for her or any Storm actress in that fucking 5-hour chair video that Marvel put out. So her presence in Doomsday at this point has been largely speculative. I think she herself said no, if I remember right. But Marvel wants to back up a Brinks truck, no matter how much people are like they paid Downey so much. They're cutting all these other costs for this shit. They'll put the money out. In this case, they would put the money out. Excuse me. So, I mean, we'll see. Like the news on her, while like this is literally the first time she's even been brought up in quite some time. Um, it's the whether she's coming back. The general opinion has always been pretty split. I think Doom either takes Elias power or trains him. I mean, he'd have to deal with him in one fashion or another. It's not like Elias is gone. Elias is still there in the void. I would imagine. imagine Doom probably takes his power. Like, he's going to need a shit ton of. So it does. All right. Let me formulate my shit. To this point, it doesn't look like he's going to have the Molecule Man as a source of power, or maybe even the Beyonders like the Hickman run. It looks like he's going to have to run around collecting power from shit that already exists in the MCU, characters and whatnot. Again, like we mentioned, now Franklin, Wanda, Loki, Bob, the Sentry, maybe Eliath even. You know, he might need all of that to do what he's doing. Because again, there's been zero mention of the Molecule Man, who was, well, basically Doom's battery. He reformed the multiverse into Battle World, became God Emperor Doom, God King Doom. I always mix it up either way. But yeah, so if Molecule Man isn't involved and the Beyonders aren't involved, he's going to have to get that power from somewhere. So, an Eliath would be a massive chunk of power. So I figure, yeah, he would take Eliath's power rather than trying to train him to submit to his will. And it could go either way, honestly, but considering he's on a power quest and not just for like temporal power, like to take over shit, like literal, actual universe forming power. Yeah. I think he would, but it could. So, speaking of Wanda, mommy. Wanda Maximoff will return and play a key role in the next Avengers movies. They want her to be the kind of hero everyone can be proud of. Her redemption will be significant. This is not the first time we've heard this talked about. So again, I don't know who the fuck this person is. They could just be regurgitating shit that hasn't been talked about in quite some time. I do remember something like this has been at least speculated about. You're thinking he would take it too? Yeah. So yeah, so her redemption will be significant. And then he adds on, she will not die or sacrifice herself. That role belongs to another great character. And then he quote tweets that, and from what I've heard, it will come from another woman again. I assume he's talking about Scarlet in that case, because she sacrificed herself so Clint could get the Soul Stone. But this time, it's because the actress no longer wants to remain in the role. We gotta figure this out, Chad. Now, he said great character, great female character, but the actress no longer wants to remain in the role. Let's finish off what he says about Wanda. Okay. And then Macbeth comes back in. Again, I'm wondering if this is like an alt account to his. But anyway, before anyone thinks Wanda is dead or that she's going to die or sacrifice herself, remember this. The multiverse saga began with Wanda, and it will end with her finally getting the happy ending she deserves. And of course, I quote tweeted it with me being me, saying I have a happy ending for Wanda. Yeah, so that's pretty. I mean, again, this has been talked about before. Wanda, Wanda finally finding her redemption arc in Doomsday and/or Secret Wars. Not the first time this has come up, but again, this also hasn't been talked about for damn ever. So, when it comes to the veracity of what this person is saying, it could be a whole lot of just regurgitation of shit we talked about like months ago, or this could, maybe this person got confirmation of all those old rumors, and that's why they're bringing it back up. Who the fuck? But I mean, that's pretty cool. I know I'll be happy with Wanda getting a redemption arc. Not because I thought Michael Waldron did her dirty in Multiverse of Madness like so many people ridiculously seem to think. Like, the evidence is there. that, like, a lot of people are like, why did Waldron make her a villain? He said he didn't watch WandaVision. That's a bunch of bullshit. He ruined her. Um, it's like all these people forgot how WandaVision actually ended. Y'all remember how WandaVision actually ended? It ended up with normal dressed Wanda waking up from a dream of her kids, getting out of bed, basically being dressed how we saw her Multiverse of Madness, in her castle. More Lizzie Olsen is a dub either way, 100 per fucking cent. But yeah, so we saw her that, and then, she wandered around a little. I think she started some team, and something for breakfast. Then the camera panned away and went back. I think did it go into a back room? It was either a back room of where she lives or the shed. Anyway, camera pans away from normal looking Lizzie, Wanda, goes back into, again, that back room or shed or whatever it is. And the show ends with her in her full Scarlet Witch outfit, floating in midair in the lotus position, going through the Darkhold, trying to figure out a way to get her kids back. That's literally the last scene of the show. Full glowy, full red Scarlet Witch outfit, floating in midair in the lotus position with the Darkhold in her lap, learning how to scan the multiverse for her to find some, to try and get her kids back in some fashion. That is exactly how WandaVision ended. With her literally learning nothing. And that's exactly where Waldron picked her character up from when he took her through Multiverse of Madness and kind of gave her a little bit of a redemption in the form of Mount Wundagore falling on it. But like a full redemption arc finished off in these last two Avengers movies, I'm down for it. My mic looks like a wiener. Well, I mean, in a general way, anything cylindrical can look like a wiener. So, this could look like a wiener. It'd be a fairly useless wiener when it comes to sex, but, this, in a very basic way, also looks like a wiener. Anything cylindrical can look like. Well, the Darkhold does exist in Stephen Strange's mind because he has photographic memory. And the entire cave that Wanda was in Mount Wundagore was covered in all the shit of the Darkhold, and Zombie Strange was in there looking at all of it. And anything Zombie Strange saw, or Stephen Strange saw. Apply photographic memory, and Stephen Strange has the entire Darkhold in 616. Stephen Strange has the entire Darkhold in his head. Boom. So, Wanda getting a full redemption arc and the happy ending she deserves, so I'm assuming Mr. Mackwell is not referring to her sitting on my face, but rather her actually getting her kids. I think Wanda has a veiny wiener. I'm going to go ahead and say no. I'm pretty sure she's all natural female. So yeah, that'll be dope. Now, let us go back to this one. That role belongs to another great character. Wanda will not die or sacrifice. So, another great character. So this is qualifier number 1. It's a great character that's going to sacrifice herself or themselves. And then he follows it up. And from what I've heard, it will come from another woman again. And I'm assuming this again refers to Black Widow in Endgame. But this time it's because the actress no longer wants to remain in the role. So, great character, female, actress no longer wants to remain in the role. Oh, whoops. My bad, chat. Here we go. Qualifier number 1, another great character. Qualifier number 2, another woman. Qualifier number 3, actress no longer wants to remain in the role. Who could that be? Who could that be? And this thought literally just came to me now, and I feel like the answer is literally, and I mean this quite literally, staring us in the face right now. Do you see what I see, chat? Are you following what I'm saying? Great character, female, actress no longer wants to be in the role. Answer staring us literally in the face right now. You picking up what I'm putting down, chat? What do you guys think? Anyone think they know what I'm thinking? Anyone think they know what I'm thinking? Any of you thinking how I'm thinking? Let me eat this chocolate. God damn it, Delta Dan. No. You always have to bring her up. The first qualifier was great character. Gaia is disqualified. Excuse me. Yeah, funny. Ha ha ha. It is funny though. Oh yeah, not Gaia. How many Diet Cokes do I drink a day? I don't know. I never really count. ScarJo? Nope. How come you're avoiding the wiener question? I don't avoid any wiener questions. Did I miss one? No, I answered that. The last one you asked is if I thought Wanda had a veiny wiener, and I don't think so. No, I don't think she has any kind of wiener. I think she has standard female equipment. Vulva, clitoris, vagina, that kind of thing. And I think probably pretty tasty. Anyway, all right, chat. My final clue is the answer is literally staring us right in the face. Great character, female, doesn't want to do this goddamn character anymore. Halle Berry's Storm fits all those qualifications. Storm is a great character. Halle Berry / Storm is obviously female. Just the fact that it's taken this long to snag her makes me think she was quite reluctant to come back to the role in the first place, and therefore will be perfectly fine with Storm going out like a G in a huge moment of self-sacrifice. Like I said, I think the answer to who this person is was literally staring us right in the face this whole time. What do you think, chat? I think that's who it is. I think she's coming back just to go out like a badass. Again, assuming this main middleman knows what the fuck he's talking about. Has Halle Berry been in anything lately? If she has, it hasn't been anything that has invaded its way into any of my feeds. I think that's the best way I can put it. I don't know. If so, not in my social media circles has news of it come through. No, for all I know, she could have been doing some stage work. No idea. What do you think? great character, female actress don't want to do no more. I think it's Halle Berry Storm. I think that's the only reason she's coming back is to make sure she doesn't have to come back again after this. Well, that there will be like an actual in continuity reason for her not to need to come back to Storm anymore. She's gonna come back and go out in a big old fucking blaze of glory. She'll be like, I'm done. Yeah. What do you think, chat? Think I'm onto anything? What do you think? Does it? Am I at least making sense, right or wrong? And again, we're basing all this speculation on information that could very easily be incorrect. But keeping it in its own little bubble of context, just inside itself, inside this thread. This is the answer that makes sense to me. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Yeah, she's gonna be cannon fodder, but I do still hope when we do get a new T'Challa, it will be with a new Storm. Oh, you want them to come in? You want them to bring T'Challa in with Storm as that power couple, married in Wakanda? That would be sick. I wouldn't mind if they skipped right to that. I don't know that they're gonna, but that would be dope. That'd be pretty fucking sick. Can't dodge the wiener? I can dodge the wiener pretty easy. Think most X-Men will be fodder? Fox X-Men will be fodder? Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that also. I am inclined to agree with that statement. I've been thinking that for a hot minute. I mean, Feige said he wanted to give him a big send-off. What up, Travis? How you doing? So, I mean, I would say I did not. I answered every wiener question you put up. The last one you asked was about Wanda having a big veiny wiener, and I don't think Wanda has any kind of wiener. I think she has the standard female equipment of vulva, clitoris, and vagina. So, that's the last wiener question you asked, and I've now answered it for the third fucking time. But yeah. So, again, inside the context of that source and that set information set, the answer is Halle Berry. Yeah. All right. That's all I have, chat. That was the last of it. That's it. That's all. I am agile for a chunky guy. Yes. Any final thoughts, chat? Questions? Not just about what we talked about, but or not just what I wanted to talk about, but anything else? Wanted to wax it off? I mean, I'd be more like wax it off to Wanda, but yes, yeah. I'd also be fine if Wanda whacked it off. I mean, I prefer she used her giner, but ain't nothing wrong with a handy. I mean, hell, with her skill set, she wouldn't even actually have to touch it. She could sit across the room and just shoot red chaos energy at it and be like, not even actually have to touch it. Yeah. About to jump on a few Rivals games before bed. Nice. I am going to be Rivals free tonight. And probably. Glad no one brought up Warhammer. Right? I don't know. I mean, I may have to join Josh in the Warhammer. I'll never do models for a wide variety of reasons. That's not the kind of project I can like lock into with my ADHD. That's not the kind of thing I can hyper focus on. Number one. Number two, and probably now that I think about it, an even bigger reason is my complete lack of skill having to do with putting together anything and decorating it, painting with precision. Anything you really need to be able to do to make good looking Warhammer models, I am 100% bad at. So I would not be doing the tabletop version. If I was going to get into Warhammer, it'd be through the books. Probably. That'd be how I would get into it. And of course, Cavill shit when it gets out. Cavill shit might make me like be much more of a mind to be serious about getting the books. Yeah. Like right now, I'm just like, if I wanted to get into Warhammer, I'll get it. But if Cavill shit slaps, I'll be like, I need a goddamn book now. You're not reading 60 books? Why not? 60 books is light work, man. I love reading. If I'm uninterrupted, like I can take down like a 250 to 300 page book in like 4 to 5 hours, depending on the print size. A couple other factors. Yeah, I am a voracious reader. When I get the urge to read, I fucking read, and I read quickly. Like if I can finagle the time, I'll read like an entire trilogy in a weekend. Again, of your average size novel, 250 to 300 pages. Like I fucking read when I want to read. Yeah. But yeah, when Josh was talking all the avenues into the hobby, books would be mine. Yeah. And now I'll stop talking about Warhammer. But of course, what's hilarious is you're celebrating that no one brought up Warhammer. You're the one that brought up Warhammer. You're the reason we're talking about it now, Delta Dan. You. You've read more than 60. Listen to audiobooks pretty much all day at work. Oh, well, there you go then. You could listen to Warhammer audiobooks. Especially if they're like the cool ones with like dope narrators and some sound effects and shit. Or at least a dope narrator. Read all the Warhammer books and let you know. I might. Won't be anytime soon. I had a healthy stream for 27 minutes, according to the YouTube. And allegedly it's been poor since then. Yeah, well. Okay. I'm going to get on out of here, chat. It's almost tomorrow in my time zone. It's 5 minutes till tomorrow. I don't even know if that's a real song. I just felt like doing that. Finishing the Stephen King Dark Tower series right now. Oh, my God. Stephen King is fucking amazing. I love Stand is my favorite, like the unabridged Stand, the one that's like 1,200 pages or whatever it is. That's my favorite King novel. I talk into my mic all the time. I'm doing it right now. Look, you can see me doing it. Mouth, mic, mouth. Voice from mouth into mic. Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm going to get on out of here, though. Like I said, it's 4 minutes to Thursday in the Eastern time zone, so I need to get to bed in the semi-near future. I'm going to get on out. Thank y'all for being here. Again, if you didn't hit like on the way in, please hit it on the way out. If you are not a subscriber, please hit subscribe and the notification bell. Join the Discord. Yeah. Other than that, Saturday night, 10 p.m. as usual. We will be back here, talk about what the fuck happened between now and then. Amazon's about to adapt the show for it. It's a crazy series. Oh, yeah. Dylan has veiny wieners to get to? No. I mean, unless I felt like cranking one out. That would be the only veiny wiener I'm going to get to. But yeah. So, yeah, thanks for being here. Hit all the buttons that you haven't hit ever before. And come on back Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern, where we will go over everything that happens between now and then. So have a good rest of your week. You guys are awesome for spending time here, even the fucking trolls. You're awesome for spending time here simply because you give me engagement. So thank you. And as for the regular part of my community, you guys are truly awesome for all the right reasons. And of course, I'm super grateful that you guys come here on the regular and spend a fair chunk of time every time you're here. So, much love, everybody, and we'll see you Saturday. Bye-bye. Now all of a sudden my stream is healthy. Evidently, I don't stream. The signal doesn't get to YouTube fast enough with my camera on. Would appear to be the case. Anyway, whatever. So I think that was a pretty good stream, guys. I hope you had a good time. I did. I always do. So have a good rest of your week. We'll see you Saturday. Much love.